Greetings, everyone. It's our episode with Pastor Maggie Alinane Msoya, child sexual abuse and also absent fathers. And in today's episode, I want to share about a girl named Sara. Sara is not a real name, but a name just used to share this story. So pay attention because there are certain lessons that I want parents to draw from this story that I'll share. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that Sara grew up in a working class family, and her parents were pillars of their church. They were one of those people that were very active, serving in different positions in the church. So her mother was also very active, and she was a member of one of the women's religious gathering in their church. So even some people in the church would tell Sara how blessed she was to have such a godly family, to have such active parents. But the reality on Sara's side was very different. So from the time that Sara was 10 years until around 18 years old, Sara was sexually abused almost every night by her father. And I'm talking about not even a stepfather, but a biological father. So typically what the father would do, he would come into her bedroom and he would undress her, he would fondle her on some private parts and all that. So the sexual abuse did not only occur in the bedroom, but sometimes the father would even go to the bathroom as Sara would take a bath, since the bathroom door was faulty, so it couldn't lock. So he took advantage of that. So he would also join Sara in the at bath time. Very unfortunate. So there are many ways on how Sara decided to cope up with the abuse while the abuse was actually happening. So she would sometimes just decide to dissociate herself, just looking down on herself, feeling hopeless. And sometimes when it was so hard, she would even bang her head into the wall, things like that. Often she would actually fall asleep while crying, because remember, she was only but a young child. So he tried to talk to the father to stop the abuse, but he threatened that the whole family would break up if he was to stop. Meaning to say, he also took advantage of the little child's mind. So the abuse only got to end when Sara turned 16, meaning from the age of 10 to 16, the father was sexually abusing Sara for the full 6 years. So how did it even stop? It stopped because Sara now left home at this time. So this is now what drew my attention. My attention drew where Sara says that she tried to talk to her mother about what was happening after the abuse, a year after the abuse started, meaning to say when she was now 11 years old. But the mother would tell her that her husband can never do that. And sometimes the mother would just say, I will tell him not to do it again. Imagine the biological mother just telling the daughter that I will tell your father not to do it again. But he continued with the abuse. So Sara, as a way of trying to escape from whatever was happening, she even tried to reason with the mother that, okay, mom, would it be possible for you to work on the bathroom door lock? Maybe at least you buy a new one. But her mother kept not acting on the request that Sara made to her about the door. So it meant the bathroom door was still left open as she bathed. It was left unlocked as he bathed. So there was only one person outside the family whom Sara ever told about the abuse while it was happening. And that person was a member of their church. And unfortunately, remember in the introduction I've said that this family was so respected at church, and the parents, both the father and the mother, were very active leaders in that church. So unfortunately, this person that was told also never believed her. Unfortunately, he never believed her. So he would, okay, let me comment to say that this is one of the reasons why it's usually hard for sexual abuse survivors to disclose the abuse, because many people tend not to believe. Others choose to think maybe the abused was at fault, things like those. But in most cases, the abused are actually innocent. They are just innocent. And then it takes a lot of wisdom for people to fully understand and listen to the abused as they share the story. So imagine whatever I've already shared here. The person chose not to believe the little girl Sara when she was 11. And she tried to confide in this person because she knew she had already tried with the mother. The mother wasn't acting. And he thought maybe this leader in the church would help her. But unfortunately, it never worked. So this man actually told Sara that such things would never happen in families like Sara's. And it was a comment that Sara lived with. It was a comment that brought even much pain. It was a comment that made her even regret years later why she had to tell this man about the whole thing. Why? It's because she was shattered. He never believed her, yet those things were really happening. So the abuse had a lot of effects on Sara's life, and even from the age of 16 going up, she has been going through therapy. She has been living on depressants, tablets, and all that. Because another thing that many people don't know is that it takes God's intervention for the sexually abused to actually live their lives well. For some, the effects are really bad. The effects really leave the people traumatized. So imagine, it may have happened even 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but that mark is usually still there until, and I repeat, until God intervenes, until God heals the people emotionally, until God delivers the people from those effects. So today, I will leave it here. And there are two things that I want to share, which is, I want you to comment from what I've shared. What do you think the mother would have done? And what is your comment in line with what the father did to Sara? And from this, in our next episode, I'm going to share more on how this whole thing ended, and I'll also share the lessons that I want parents to draw from this. I'll also share lessons on any other person that may want to intervene in the situations, how best they can give ear to those that are abused, so that they help the people as they disclose the support needed and the action they may give and all that. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. You were with me, Pastor